What favorites? Okay, now he's interpreting. Okay.
Coming on with? Going away again.
Can you interpret yours? Oh, the merge failed. You said merge failed?
Yeah.
There, huh?
Say the other Spanish guy in that corner.
Okay, transform that.
What do you-
28.
¿Qué habla igual?
They didn't feel this out.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Un poquito.
Ajá.
No, déjame ver, no.
What's his name?
That's Judge Egan, I think it is.
It's got a screw
I know, let's see if she gonna call us, we
Nonchalant.
got it, cause she's Spanish, we gotta get it.
Oh, we'll do it last.
Yeah, tell her we'll bring that Spanish.
All right, she needs an interpreter, right?
Yes, Your Honor, we have an interpreter for Spanish for the victim and as well as this young lady right here.
So we got some. What's your favorites?
That's it.
Not here.
Now, we're going to go to favorites. That interpreter. I'm sorry, but we gonna get this thing to work. We ain't waiting no 20 minutes. Let's see, plus, favorites, interpreter.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Dalia, Spanish interpreter. Can you hear the interpreter in the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay. I can hear you. Is this Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Okay. I
Are
can
there-
hear you, and if the defendant is in courtroom too, I can connect to the headsets, and I will be able to communicate with her.
The victim needs an interpreter too. How do we do that?
For the next
That will be done through-
defendant, Your Honor.
Pardon?
For the next defendant.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So yes, Madam Interpreter, you have to connect the courtroom too for this interpreter.
Now, Madam Clerk, you sound very far away.
Oh. Sorry, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, for this one, you have to connect to courtroom 2. Then the next victim we have is just the next defendant we have is the victim that we need in courtroom 1.
Okay. So I am connected to courtroom 2. Let me make sure she can hear me in
Okay.
courtroom 2.
Sí.
She can hear the interpreter. Can you hear her voice as well?
Yes. Are you
Perfect.
Jennifer? Are you Jennifer Vasquez?
Sí.
Yes.
And is there
Yes.
somebody out there for Miss Vasquez? And good morning, ma'am. Do you speak English?
I do.
Okay. And can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay. And I have reviewed the police report here. You're welcome to put your hand down. I would find probable cause for 1 count of domestic violence battery. And ma'am, your name again?
Carla Montero.
And how do you know Jennifer Vasquez?
She's my girl.
Okay, and do you live together? All right. Now, I know this incident involved you as well. I did find probable cause for domestic violence battery. We have a couple of options, okay? Are you fearful of her?
No.
If she goes home, are you scared that anyone could be hurt?
I guess not. No.
Okay. Well, what would you like me to do? Because we're going to give her a bond, so she'll be able to get out of jail. The issue is whether we order she have no contact with you, or if you'd like to see her, we can allow her to do that with no hostile contact.
I would like to have contact with her. I mean,
Okay.
yes, I would like to have contact.
All right.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, the interpreter did not hear the response from the victim.
Yeah, victim said she's not fearful. So we could set a bond in the amount of $1,000. We could order Ms. Vasquez have no hostile contact with Ms. Montero. And then other than that, she should be okay. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Ms. Vasquez. And I think that's all we need to do. Ma'am, Ms. Montero, do you have any questions? So her bond is $1,000. If you're going to help her do that, you can post a cash bond in that amount, or you can talk to a bonding agency and they might require 10%, okay?
Or she does qualify for pre-trial.
Okay, she qualifies for PT.
Do I have to help her pay that?
Well, she qualifies for pretrial release. We can allow her to do that as well, which would cost nothing, but she'd have to report in, be instructed on that when she leaves. So we can allow the bond or pretrial release. Okay, so, and if she does pretrial release, it will not cost any money, okay? Do you have any other questions, ma'am?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Vasquez, thank you.
Thank you. And it's my understanding we have one more case, Your Honor. Is that correct?
We do.
We doing the, I don't know, ask the witness, I don't know if that is.
Are you Ray Anthony Lamar?
No, sir.
Okay, what's your name, please?
Abel Trevino.
Your Honor, this is the defendant and needs the interpreter for the victim.
He's a felony or a misdemeanor DB?
Misdemeanor.
Okay. What's his name on it?
Trevino? And Madam Interpreter, this
Yes,
involves alleged victim who's here with us. Are you able to communicate with her?
Yes, Your Honor, let me. Buenos días. ¿Puede la víctima que está presente, puede escuchar la intérprete?
Well, she's in the witness booth here in the courtroom. She's not going to be able to hear this.
This is, is the interpreter on the loudspeaker in the courtroom?
No, you're just on the computer.
She might now.
Oh, okay, I see.
Go ahead, try it now.
That might be.
Try it now, Madam Interpreter. Ask her, can she hear you?
I'm sorry, señora,
Yeah.
¿puede escucharme ahora? Ahora, ¿puede escuchar la intérprete?
She can hear you a little bit, but I don't think you're going to be able to hear her.
I cannot. If she's speaking, I haven't been able to hear her.
Okay.
Okay, so now get closer to the mic. Can you ask her?
Acérquese al micrófono, señora,
Okay.
lo más cerca que pueda del micrófono y hable lo más fuerte posible, por favor.
Okay.
I
Madam-
can hear her, but let me make sure that she speaks up, Your Honor. Señora, estamos teniendo dificultad escuchándolo a usted. Tiene que hablarme lo más fuerte posible, por favor. I asked her to speak as loud as she possibly could.
And can you ask her to raise her right hand? Because I'm going to give her an oath.
Señora, por favor, levante su mano derecha para que preste un juramento.
And do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully today, ma'am?
Señora, ¿usted jura o afirma testificar aquí honestamente en el día de hoy?
Lo juro.
I do.
Okay. And can you state your name, please?
¿Nos puede decir su nombre completo, por favor?
María Eva Ramos Mallorquín.
María Eva Ramos.
And Ms. Ramos, what is your relationship with Abel Trevino?
Señora Ramos, ¿cuál es su parentesco con Abel Trevino?
Nosotros somos novios, pero estamos juntos viviendo en la misma casa. Tenemos un hijo en común.
We are boyfriend and girlfriend. We're living together in the same house, and we have a child in common.
Okay. If Mr. Trevino is released today, would you like to have contact with him?
Si al señor Trevino se le permite salir de la cárcel hoy, ¿usted quiere poder tener contacto con él?
No, porque él me dijo que si yo le llamaba a la policía, yo iba a tener problemas con él. Yo no sé qué él va a hacer conmigo porque yo no llamé a la policía, fue que me llamó la policía que me estaba robando el carro y eso no era cierto. Él me pegó y
Un momento. No, because he told me that if I called the police, I was going to have problems with him, and I don't know what he is going to do. I did not call the police, but he called the police and he tried to tell them that I was stealing the car, which is not true.
So he is probably going to be released today. I can order that he have no contact with you while this is pending. Is that what you would like me to do?
Probablemente, señora, él va a poder salir hoy. Usted, si desea, yo puedo ordenar de que él no tenga contacto con usted en lo que este caso está pendiente. ¿Eso es lo que usted desea hacer?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have any questions for the witness, State PD? No? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I do find probable cause for domestic violence battery. I believe Mr. Trevino qualifies for pretrial release. He's welcome to do that. Or he can post a bond in the amount of $1,500. He is to have no contact with the victim in the case. Maria, I believe, is her name. And he's not to return to the location where they live, although he can go back one time with law enforcement to get some personal belongings. And we will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Mr. Trevino. So, Mr. Trevino, do you have any? You don't need to tell me what happened, but do you have any questions?
I have a private lawyer. We're going through a custody battle with my son. And this
Okay,
is
I understand.
And
Okay.
it's in the courts, and she is unstable. It's written down on CPS and in court.
And I understand there's always two sides, but this is just a preliminary type hearing. You two should stay away from each other. You'll get your own lawyer. You're welcome to do pretrial release, or you can post a bond in the amount of $1,500. Okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Trevino. Ma'am, thank you. Gracias. All right, Madam Interpreter, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. You have a great weekend, Your Honor.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Do we have Ray Anthony Lamar? Are you Mr. Lamar?
Robert Veloso.
Your Honor, we're doing a move-up list.
Okay. What's your name?
Robert Veloso.
Meloso?
Veloso, sir, with a V.
All right. Don't know why we
We
don't
had
have.
Ray Lamar was the first person on the list. Is he coming?
Mental health.
Oh, okay. Well, Ray Anthony Lamar is next.
Yeah, he was mental health, so you wanna,
I don't think we need, I mean, we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender. I would find probable cause for petty theft on the new case, 20 MM 4685. Set the bond amount of $250. I would forfeit the bonds and RORs that he's out on in his other cases. Okay? And this is Robert Veloso. Mr. Veloso, I do find probable cause for petty theft. We would set your bond in the amount of $250, order you not return to the location, and we will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Mr. Veloso, do you have any questions?
You just get the ROR, sir?
I can check with the state. I would normally get state, this is a petty theft. He's requesting ROR. This is Wawa gas station.
It looks like it was less than $7. Allegedly taken, no objection.
Okay. All right, Mr. Veloso, I'll give you ROR, but you gotta have on the condition that you not return to this Wawa while this is pending, okay?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Very important. Stay away, but we'll release you ROR, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Good luck, sir. All right, do we have Michael Lee Bennett? Are you Mr. Bennett?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bennett, you got a new case, 20 MM 737, I believe. I do find probable cause for disorderly conduct. You also are out on bond in 20 MM 4596. That's ROR, trespass. Also ROR on 20 MM 497. I would be inclined to revoke those based on continuation, getting in trouble, but I don't know. State, do you have a preference?
Yes, Your Honor, given the facts of the case, the state would request the prior bonds to be revoked.
All right, so Mr. Bennett, on your new case, I would set bond in the amount of $250. I am going to forfeit the bonds you're out on. We will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, so they're going to be working for you to see if they can't get you out. But right now, I'm going to forfeit those bonds, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
oh, I'm sending that now.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, Esmeralda Aliote.
Your Honor, she's medical.
Okay, I would, we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender. I would find probable cause for battery on a person 65 years of age or older. Also, one count of domestic violence battery. Set bond in count one in the amount of $1,000. Count two, $100. Order no contact with the alleged victims, no return, except one time with law enforcement. We do not need to reset. This is Nicholas Edwards present?
Yes, Your Honor, we also have an attorney. You have an attorney,
Okay.
Goyens Gara, Jordan?
There with him? Is the lawyer present?
The lawyer is in courtroom one with you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Is that the VOP? What was his name?
That was,
Oh, we did, that's the one we did with that. Remember we said at 15, at $5,000? The attorney that was here this
well,
morning.
yeah, but what's the name of the defendant?
Right here.
Nicholas Edwards?
Was this like that?
I'm looking for Nicholas Edwards. Oh,
Remember we did, and we said it's bond at $5,000.
okay. Is Goyen Segara still there?
Yes, he is, Your Honor.
All right. Are you Mr. Goyen Segara?
Yes.
All right, so we were having some technical problems. Mr. Ferry was here.
Yes.
He did discuss your case with the state, and they agreed to a bond in the amount of $5,000. So you do have a bond. However, because of your status, there is a 5-day hold, so you're not going to get out today. Mr. Ferry is looking into that. But you do have a bond. You got a hold as a violent felony offender of special concern. We're told that's a 5-day hold, and I know he's investigating, okay?
Understood.
All right, any questions?
None, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So do we have Nicholas Edwards? All right. And you're Mr. Edwards?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Edwards, I have reviewed the police report. We do find probable cause for 8 counts. Count 1, armed kidnapping. We would not be setting a bond on that count. Count 2, false imprisonment, domestic violence. We could set a bond in the amount of $5,000. Count 3, DV battery. We'd set bond in the amount of $100. Count 4, carrying a concealed firearm. Bond in the amount of $150. Count 5, trafficking in a controlled substance. $150 bond. Count 6, possession of alprazolam with the intent to sell or deliver. $150 bond. Count 7, possession of oxycodone. Bond $150. Count 8, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. A bond in the amount of $100. But that first count would be held no bond at this time. We will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Mr. Edwards. Okay? Thank you.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Why do I don't have a bond on the first 2 charges? And
The first charge only, armed kidnapping. Have you had a look at that? Is he entitled to a bond today, or is that? Pardon me? It's PBL, I think. So I think I'd rather give everyone an opportunity to, if there's an Arthur hearing that needs to be done. So your attorney can request a hearing on that, but I wouldn't give a bond today. Okay, thank you, Mr. Edwards. Are you Aaron Rich?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mr. Rich. I think we have somebody here for you. Hello, good. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can.
All right, and I'm talking, there's a witness here. I'm going to put her under oath, and then we'll go from there. Can you raise your right hand, please? And do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. All right, and you can put your hand down. And can I have your name? Your name, I'm sorry?
Hattie.
Hattie. Okay. And what is your relationship with Mr. Rich?
He's my husband.
Husband. Okay. So I reviewed the police report, and I would find probable cause for 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count of domestic violence battery. Ma'am, if he were to be released today, would you like to have contact with him?
What I would like I would mind dropping the charge, but I would like to use our comments.
Okay. So, and I know you may not, are you able to hear her, sir?
Beg pardon, sir?
Can you hear her?
No, I can't hear you.
Okay. And that doesn't surprise me. It's not very loud. I think she's asking that to move out. That's not necessarily my call today. But, ma'am, you're entitled to have no contact with him while this is pending. So I can either order no contact at all or no hostile contact. So if you would rather not have any contact with him, I'll order the first. Okay. And he is going to be allowed to be escorted with police 1 time to get some personal belongings from the place. But what I would do, Mr. Rich, is I do find probable cause. As to count 1, I would set bond in the amount of $2,500. Count 2, $150. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. We will order you have no contact with her while this is pending. You can return 1 time with law enforcement to obtain some personal belongings. Ma'am, any other questions? Okay, good luck. It's nice to see you. Mr. Rich, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Right, no return. Are you Jordan Riley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Riley is here, and I think we might have someone present. All right, good afternoon. Can you raise your hand, and do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? And your name, please? Mr. Finley is here, so Mr. Riley, Duncan Finley is here. And what is your relationship with Jordan Riley?
Ex-boyfriend?
Boyfriend. And do you two live together?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Finley, if Jordan Riley is released today, would you like to have contact with him?
No contact, please.
No contact. So if you're fearful, you can have that. Okay? All right. So what I would do is do find probable cause for domestic violence battery by strangulation. I would set bond in the amount of $1,500. We would order that Mr. Riley have no contact with Duncan Finley as a condition of release. No return to the location where this occurred. Is this where you live, both of you?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to allow him to go back with a police escort one time. You'll be notified when that's going to happen if you want to leave, to get his personal belongings. But then while this is pending, he's not to return and have no contact with you, okay? All right. And Mr. Riley, any questions about that right now?
No, Your Honor. I would just like to apologize from the bottom of my heart for what I've caused.
I understand, and today's not the day to really talk about what happened. It could hurt your case, and we want everyone to be protected. But we have appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, so they should be able to give you some advice as well, okay?
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Riley, and thank you, sir. Good luck to you, okay? All right. All right, do we have Vicky Ayala? Are you Miss Ayala?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I don't think there's anybody out there for Vicky Ayala. I did review the police report. It's kind of a close call, but I do think I'd find probable cause for domestic violence battery. Does everyone live together, ma'am?
No.
No. Okay. It's unclear exactly whether they're related, but and what I'd like to know if she lives with Brandon Hodge. Does anyone mind if I ask her that? No. Do you live with Brandon Hodge?
No, sir.
Is he your neighbor?
Yes.
Okay, well, I am going to find probable cause for battery then, and I'm going to set your bond in the amount of $1,000. I'm going to order you have no contact with Mr. Hodge while this is pending. If you do live in the neighborhood, you can go home, but you need to avoid him, and you're not to go to his property, so no return to his residence, no contact. It's very important, okay?
Okay.
And we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Ma'am, do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Is this Microlange Dextra?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Miss Dextra. No, okay. I do find probable cause for domestic violence battery. We can allow you to participate in pretrial release, or if you want, you can post a bond of $1,500. I would, either way, order no contact with the alleged victim, no return. If you happen to live here, you can return one time with law enforcement to get some things, okay?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
And if I didn't say so, we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
What happened?
And is there Jessica Flores?
Yes.
Are you Miss Flores?
I am.
All right, and I know somebody's here who's going to want to be heard. I did review the police report, and I would find probable cause for domestic violence battery. And sir, can you raise your hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Okay, and can you state your name, please? Can you get closer to the microphone? Mr. Morales. And you speak English? Okay, excellent. What is your relationship with Miss Jessica Flores? Do you live together? Okay. If she's released today, would you like to have contact with her?
Absolutely. Everything that was said was under arrest. There is no issue at all.
Okay.
There should be no probable cause. She should be released.
Okay. So you're asking that she be released on her own recognizance, no bond?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There should be no issue.
All right, so Ms. Flores, I'm going to, based on the testimony today, I would find, based on what's in the police report, I do find probable cause a battery occurred, but that's all I have to go by. I can release her on her own recognizance in order that she have no contact, no hostile contact with Mr. Morales, but she'll be out today. Today's not the day to get into it. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's just not the day to do it. Based on what I read, I do find probable cause. She's not going to have to pay any money to get out, though, okay? And you can go back home. I'm just going to order no hostile contact. He says it's all a misunderstanding anyways. I wish you both well, okay? All right, thank you very much, ma'am. Danielle Frazee?
Your Honor, he's mental health.
So mental health, I do find probable cause for DV battery. We can set bond in the amount of $1,500, order no contact, no return, and we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Are you Mr. Glenn?
Yes, sir.
Sean Glenn is here, and I think someone might be here for Mr. Glenn. And hello, ma'am. Can you state your name, please?
Sean Glenn.
I'm talking to Ms. Thomas. Can you raise your hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? And you said you're Sunshine Thomas, is that right? And what is your relationship with Sean Glenn? Boyfriend. And if he's released today, would you like to have contact with him? Yes. Are you scared for your safety if he were to go home? No. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Glenn, I read the police report. I do find probable cause for domestic violence battery. We will allow you to participate in pretrial release, or if you want, you could post a bond in the amount of $1,500. You're not to have any hostile contact, though, with Ms. Thomas. You can go home, but be careful, okay? All right, ma'am, any questions? All right, thank you very much. Good luck. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Thank you, Mr. Glenn. Thank you, ma'am. All right, are you Gregory Jones?
Yes, sir.
All right, hello, Mr. Jones. Are you on vacation?
Yes, sir.
All right. And from Georgia?
Yes, sir.
All right. And were you expecting someone to come talk to me about what happened here today? Because I don't have anyone out there in the waiting room.
No, sir.
Don't know? Okay.
No.
All right.
It's actually my birthday. We're supposed to be.
Happy birthday. Not a good place to spend your birthday.
Right.
Well, I read the police report. I would find probable cause for domestic violence battery. I would set bond the amount of $1,000. Based on what we have here, though, I got to order no contact with, is it Keona?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Keona Gibbs. I'm going to order no contact with her. No return to what has occurred unless you go with law enforcement to get some personal belongings.
Yeah. All right. That's my fiance, though.
I know. Do you know where she is?
Yeah.
Have you talked to her since you got arrested?
I have not, because the phone wouldn't reach out because of the, I guess the local.
And I don't know if, was corrections able to reach the victim in this case? Could probably look at the phone. No contact.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Hold on. And what I'm doing, I'm just looking at the police report to see if she made any statements about what she wants to have happen, and I just don't see any.
Yes, sir. 'Cause it really wasn't. It was an argument. It wasn't really
Yeah.
physical.
And I understand that, and I don't mean to cut you off, but you shouldn't talk about what happened. It could
Sorry.
hurt you if the state files charges.
Sorry.
You could. That's okay, but you could incriminate yourself. But are you guys at a hotel?
Resort, Orange Lake Resort.
Orange Lake, yeah, okay. All right, I don't know if I have much choice here. I am going to have to order you have no contact. Corrections may still try to reach out to her, and if she changes her mind, I'm happy to revisit it. But I don't know. Let me talk. Counsel, does anyone? If they lived here in Florida, it'd be easy to live together. But they're on vacation. I think I should order no contact. But does anyone think differently?
I think it was a point of caution.
Okay. All right. So what we'll do is order no contact, and she can reach out to the police or state attorney's office if she wants to revisit that. But I don't have much choice right now, sir. But we do set your bond in the amount of $1,000. Okay. And I wish you well. Good luck. All right. All right. Do we have Andrew McMasters?
Your Honor, his behavior.
All right, so I do find probable cause for battery. We would find, let's see. I don't think it's. I don't think it's domestic violence, but we'd set a bond in the amount of $1,000, order no contact with the alleged victim, no return. We can appoint the office of the public defender. And are you Mr. Rivera?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Rivera is here. I do find a probable cause for battery. We can set the bond in the amount of $1,000. Order no contact with the alleged victim, no return. You happen to live here, you can return one time with law enforcement to get some things, and we'll appoint the office of the public defender. Thank you, Mr. Rivera.
Okay.
Anthony Samuel? Are you Mr. Samuel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Or
Okay, good. Good afternoon, I know. And can you raise your right hand, ma'am? Hey. You swear or affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your name?
Joy Samuel.
All right. And your relationship with,
That's my husband, Your Honor.
gotcha. And how are you doing? I know you know me.
I know you know me too.
Right.
She already got her phone taken away last night, so.
Okay.
Interruption in the neighborhood, somebody called the police. My husband had been drinking, like, he had a couple drinks, and he didn't like the police when they were talking to us, and, you know, they did say I had a mark on my face and my arm, that's my worst feeling. My husband did not.
Okay. Well, and she's a mom of a juvenile, I think that's on probation, right, Tioni? And your relationship with Anthony Samuel, you're his spouse?
I'm his spouse. We've
What?
been together for 22 years.
Okay. So I'm talking to your wife. I know you can't hear her. If he's released today, do you want to have contact with him?
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to release with no probable cause, but there was nothing he did to me at all.
Okay.
The police, I don't know what happened in the neighborhood, my husband's property. And I also want to ask if we released without bond, because there was no probable cause. As well as the fact that his daughter,
Well-
his granddaughter just came down and saw the father.
Here's what I can do, and your first name is Joy. Yeah. I go by what's in the police report. I really don't take extra testimony. There is evidence here that he struck you that may or may not be true. I can release him on his own recognizance, so he won't have to post any money. I do find probable cause, though, and I would order Mr. Samuel to have no hostile contact with his wife as a condition of release. And this may go nowhere, but I find probable cause, we can release him ROR with no hostile contact, okay? So, Mr. Samuel, you'll be released today. I wish you well, okay?
Your Honor. Thank you.
Bud.
All right.
All right, Deshaun Williams.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, Mr. Williams. I don't think there's anyone here. I would find probable cause for violation of a domestic violence injunction. I would set bond there in the amount of $2,500, or you can participate in pretrial release. Either way, you'd have no contact with the alleged victim, no return to where this occurred. Mr. Williams, do you understand what that means?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no contact means no contact. I mean, there was already an injunction in place.
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
saying this happened, but you got to be very careful.
You're right.
Because if you have contact with her, you may not leave the jail again for quite some time. But you're welcome to do PTR, or you can pose a $2,500 bond. No contact with the alleged victim, okay? Thank you. I need you to stick around. It shouldn't be hard, okay? He can return one time if he has with law enforcement, okay? All right, are you Alexander?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Alexander, you got a new case, 20 CF 7900. I would find probable cause for carjacking.
Hey, the guy tried to call down here and drop the
Well,
charges.
Mr. Alexander, we can't really talk about the facts of the case today. Let me see. I would set your bond amount of $10,000 in that case, but you're out on bond in 20 CF 5511 as well as 20 CF 5583, and we would revoke those bonds, though. All right, we'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, and they can look into possibly getting you a bond in those cases. But $10,000 bond on the carjacking, revoke on your other two cases. Okay, thank you, Mr. Alexander. Are you Corey Anderson?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, and Mr. Anderson, you're picked up on a warrant for failure to appear.
Sir, I wasn't picked up. I turned
Case.
myself in.
You turn yourself in, excellent.
Yes.
So it is a no bond warrant. Right now, there's no bond. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, and they can work on trying to get you a bond, okay?
Sir, my public defender, or not my public defender, my bondsman sent a letter, I guess they sent a letter into the judge's office stating that I didn't realize that they sent the notification out to me for my my court date late. I didn't get it until after my court date. That's why I came and turned myself in, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does he have, scheduled legal?
And is your attorney court appointed, or did you hire her?
Sir, I've been trying to contact my public defender since I got bonded out. I haven't had any way of nobody contacting me back. I haven't got any notification back from them, anything, sir.
And do you know who the judge is?
No, sir. Like I said, I was here 2 days and then I got bonded out, and that's what my issue was. Is I contacted my public defender. I contacted the public defender's office, but with this COVID-19 thing going, I didn't even know the courthouses were still open right now. So when I found out that I missed my court date, I went to my bondsman, and I turned myself into my bondsman, and they contacted Orange County to have them come pick me up just so I could be able to get back out on my original bond.
And I think he's got Office of Regional Conflict Counsel. This is a warrant for June 24th. And I know I'd be inclined to release him in his own recognizance, and then I can let the judge know what I did. But I know nothing about the case. I'm a state. I mean, he was out on bond. As far as we can tell, he hasn't violated bond.
The state would be better for
Yes,
purchase.
sir. Sir, I'm supposed to start work tomorrow morning. That's been my main thing since I was
All
trying
right,
to
well,
get this.
Mr. Anderson, because of the virus, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, okay? Contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release and follow instructions. I'm going to hold on to this so I can find out who the judge is, and I'll send the judge an email, okay?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, sir.
It's Tom Young. Can I keep this? Well, I'm going to need to write some stuff down for both of us. All right. Are you Robert Courtney?
Robert Courtney's behavior, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Courtney in 20 CF 7725 was picked up on a warrant, and the bond was set at $2,500. He's out on bond in 20 MM 75 as well as 19 CF 15956, and the court would revoke those bonds and will appoint the office of the public defender. Jackie Fluker? You're Mr. Fluker? All right. All right, so Mr. Fluker, 20 CF 7889, I would find probable cause for carrying a concealed firearm. We set your bond amount of $2,500 and appoint the office of the public defender. I know you're out on bond in a drug case, 20 CF 5435. I'm not going to disturb that. I'm going to leave that bond in place, okay?
Yes, sir.
But we'll have to post a bond on your new case of $2,500. All right, Mr. Fluker?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Howard Edward Jones,
Your Honor, his behavior as well?
behavior. All right, so on Mr. Jones's new case, 20 CF 7885, do find probable cause for possession of methamphetamine, set the bond the amount of $1,000. He's out on bond in a drug offense as well, and I'm not going to disturb the bond. That's 20 CF 6694, but we will appoint the PD. Are you Sean Laxton?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Fine. So, Mr. Laxton, you were picked up on a warrant for from Judge Harris for violating a conditional release. She's got you no bond right now, but we'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you.
What's that mean?
You don't have a bond. The PD's office can talk to Judge Harris and get a bond hearing to see if she wants to revisit that, okay? But right now, she didn't want you to have a bond.
Okay.
All right? Thank you, Mr. Laxton. Is this Jonathan Pagan Blanco?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes. All right. So, Mr. Pagan Blanco, you got a new case, 20 CF 7901. Court does find probable cause. For possession of heroin with the intent to sell or deliver, one count of possession of cocaine with the intent to sell or deliver, one count of possession of drug paraphernalia. As to count one, we would set bond the amount of $15,000. Count two, $150. Count three, $100. I know you're out on bond in a vehicle registration case, 19 CT 8965. We won't disturb that, okay? And we can appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Okay? Any questions?
You don't got somebody to tell me Spanish because I don't understand like that too much English. You know?
Well, our interpreter, sorry, we didn't know ahead of time, but you'll need to post a bond today.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good luck. Walter Reverend Gutierrez?
Yes, sir. That's my name.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I think you have two cases, I believe. 20 CF 7907. We do find probable cause for one count of altering or destroying evidence. As to count one, we'd set bond the amount of $1,000. Count two, possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, ROR. Count three, failure to obey fire department, and we can ROR there as well. His other case, 20 CF 7908, we do find probable cause for driving with license suspended or revoked, third or subsequent offense, and we would set bond the amount of $2,500, and we can appoint the office of the public defender. Okay? Any questions, sir?
And write down the amounts of bond, but like, it's okay.
Yeah, well,
I couldn't.
they'll
write it.
give those to you. They'll give those to you, and then you have a chance. You'll get that in writing, okay?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, thanks.
You have a good one.
Are you Ray Stiles?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, Mr. Stiles, you got several cases. Let me start with the newest case, 20 CF 7702. I think you were picked up on a arrest warrant, so probable cause was found for grand theft of a motor vehicle, and bond was set in the amount of $3,500. You are also out on bond in 20 CF 2129, and I would revoke that bond. Also 20 MM 1731, out on bond, we would revoke that bond. 20 CF 72029, we would revoke bond there as well. Appoint the office of the public defender to represent Mr. Stiles. So, Mr. Stiles, your attorneys will have to work on trying to get you a bond hearing on the revoked bonds, okay?
All right, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Are you Franklin Torres Gomez?
Yes, sir.
All right, hello, Mr. Gomez. Starting with your new case, 20 CF 7896, we do find probable cause, one count of battery on a uniformed or licensed security officer. We'd set bond the amount of $1,500. Count 2, probable cause for assault on a security officer. We set bond in $100. Count 3, trespass in an occupied structure. Set bond the amount of $100. You are also out on bond in 20 CF 5491 and 20 MM 3272, and I'm going to revoke those bonds. We will appoint the office of the public defender to represent you.
May I have a word? Due for respect, I was not out on bond on my other cases. I was actually out on 30. I got a 33-day motion put in.
Yeah, it was ROR, but you picked up a new thing I found probable cause for, and I can revoke that ROR status, and that's what I've done. I have appointed the office of the public defender, so someone will be looking into this for you, okay?
But I do still got bond, right?
Only on your new case. On your 2 cases you were out on, that has been revoked, okay?
All right.
Sorry, thank you. All right, is this Harold Harris?
No, Your Honor, it's Frederick Linlow.
Mr. Harris. We don't have a Harris, Your Honor, on our document.
Mr. Harris may have bonded out, okay? Then we don't need.
Yes, it may number is 2,200 14680 80. I'm sorry. Okay, fine.
All right, thank you. And this is Mr. Linlow. All right, Mr. Linlow, I do find probable cause for one count of, hold on, you might have 2 cases here. Case number 20 CT 4047, I do find probable cause for driving under the influence. We'd set your bond the amount of $500. Case number 20 MM 4694, do find probable cause for possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, possession of drug paraphernalia. Count 1, bond will be set in the amount of $500. Count 2, $100. And we will appoint the office of the public defender to represent you, Mr. Linlow.
Can I ask for a reduction of bond?
You can ask for anything you want. The issue is whether we're going to do it, but the state these are pretty normal bonds for DUI, $500, and tell you what, I think, Mr. Linlow, what we can do on the cannabis and drug paraphernalia, I can ROR you on those, but I'm going to keep the DUI at $500, okay?
Your Honor, I have $300 in my possession, and when they lock me up, I don't know if I can get a hold of a bail bondsman, but is there any way I can give you the $300 and then go to the bank and come back and give the $2?
I don't know why you wouldn't be able to get in touch with the bond agency. They're all over the place, and you should have access to a phone, okay? But that's a standard bond on a DUI.
All right.
So we'll let you do that. Good luck, sir, okay? All right. And Angela Pafumi?
Angela. No, Angela Masumi.
200 14.
Angela.
200-14684. Funding.
All right, thank you. David Garcia.
Sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Garcia. I have reviewed your case. I do find probable cause for possession of drug paraphernalia and one count of giving false information.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
may I ask you a question? The bond is set at like $1,500, but they're trying to tell me I have to pay the whole thing since I don't have a Florida ID or address. Would there be any case that maybe lowered to like 1,000?
Where do you live, Mr. Garcia? Do you live in Florida?
No, sir. Right now I live in Virginia, but we came down here to find a place to live.
Okay.
That's the only reason I'm asking, because they're trying to tell me I have to pay the whole thing. The bondsman told me I couldn't pay just the 10%. He wanted me to pay the 15 plus another 200.
Okay. Well, it isn't the crime of the century. You live in Virginia?
Yes, sir. But like I said, I'm really trying to live here. It's a nicer state for me.
All right, count one, I'll set bond the amount of $500. Count two, release on your own recognizance, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, good luck, sir.
God bless you.
We can appoint the PD to represent his interests if necessary. Teodros Kabidi,
Your Honor, he's medical.
medical, okay, so we can take care of that. I do find probable cause for trespass on property after a warning, and bond would be set in the amount of $500. He's out on bond in 20 MO 552 and 20 MM 4545, and we would revoke the release status on both of those cases. We'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Kurt Schneider,
Your Honor, he's behavior.
behavior, so I would find probable cause for one count of resisting without violence, set bond the amount of $500, and appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent Mr. Schneider. Second, catch up. I don't remove the plate. No problem. Julio Alejandro?
He's medical, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Medical?
Medical. So he does have a warrant out of county, I think Seminole. He does have a bond in the amount of $750. And so we don't need to bring him back, but if he's able to bond out, he can do so. Okay, and while he's in the county jail, we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender. And how about Brandon Stiles?
He's also medical, Your Honor.
All right, so he has a bond out of Volusia County. I'm sorry, a warrant out of Volusia County, which is no bond. So why don't we try to reset him for Monday and see, then Judge Carter can take a look at it. Is this Dominique McNutt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, Ms. McNutt, I would find probable cause for trespass. And are you able to post a bond in any amount, Mrs. McNutt?
No, ma'am. My mom passed away, and I don't really have nobody to help me.
All right, well, what we can do is I can release you on your own recognizance, but you cannot go back to the 7-Eleven
Yes, sir.
on 4305 Pine Hills Road.
Yes,
Because
sir.
if you go back there and I see you, you're going to get a bond, and you're not going to like it, okay?
Yes, sir.
But we can release Miss McNutt on the her own recognizance, no return to that 7-Eleven, and we can appoint the Office of the Public Defender,
So
okay?
I can go home today, sir?
Yeah, you're going to go home. You don't have to post any money, but what did I ask you to do?
Not go on the property no more?
7-Eleven,
Yes,
okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you.
All
All right, bye-bye. James Sansom, are you James?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, Mr. Sampson, he was picked up on an open container violation. It's probably the kind of thing we plea in normal circumstance, but are we doing any pleas or not? Probably not. I mean, problem with Mr. Sampson is he's got a pretty extensive criminal history, but this is just an open container. I'd probably be inclined to ROR him unless you guys wanted to try to work out a plea. Mr. Sampson, do you have a job? Are you employed?
No, sir. I was working with the landscape company, but it's only here and there.
All right, well, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, okay? Be careful. All right, so you're going to be able to go home today, but please be careful. I don't need to see you back here, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Is Joe Wilson around?
Your Honor, behavior?
All right, so that's a trespass case. We do find probable cause, and we can set his bond the amount of $250 and appoint the office of the public defender. Do you have anyone else?
No, Your Honor, that's it.
Well, thank you for your help today. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So these are the two cases.
I give you a copy of the one from Orange County.
Okay. I can't? So you want that back? Okay. Okay, that was Judge Booth. Okay, and I'm sorry, your name? Jermaine, how are you, Jermaine?